Hello YouTube and welcome to GrunfWorks Plays KSP. This is episode 29, and in this episode our Kerbal, Valentina, had a special dream. A dream when she was in command of a very, very special spaceplane. A spaceplane that was so special that it needed refuel from the first second it set its foot on the runway. Why, you may ask? Well, because it has been powered by Karborundrum. So, she asked Bill to come and assist, and Bill is there in our Karborundrum delivery rover, rushing towards Valentina's special spaceplane, and hopefully he will be able to refuel this spaceplane, which we will be designated as spaceplane SSTO Anubis, as the Egyptian god of the underworld, because it will be using the secret passageways of the universum to go places where no Kerbal has gone before. Yes. Okay, but I digress. So, we have Bill over here coming in our Karborundrum tanker, and he's going to connect the tanker to the SSTO so that we could pump some sweet Karborundrum into this Valentina's spaceplane. Okay, so let's link those two together, and the plane jumps with joy as we do so. And time to start the juice transfer. So, let's first disable the warehouse, because that function has been messing up with my plans royally. So, we transfer the fuel in the spaceplane, stop the transfer, and apparently, for some reason, my craft started dancing. So let me unlink this before the Kraken gets the best of us. And then we have Bill over here, well, performing his refueling duty and taking the Karborundrum rover back to which it came from, and that is supposed to be the parking lot of the administration building, because there we are keeping our Karborundrum rover to be able to provide fuel for other ships as well. So, with that thing in mind, let the Bill just drive this thing out of the runway so that Valentina can ascend into the heavens with her new, beautiful, powerful SSTO Anubis. Okay, come on, Bill. Time is precious. Although, technically, since this is a dream, the time is relevant. A mere minutes could be hours in the real world. Okay, so Bill, you are happily trotting along to our rover, which we used initially to get you to the Karborundrum tanker, and we will be recovering you, while Valentina's adventure continues. So, throttle to max, SAS on, and releasing the brakes, and setting our rapiers to the max thrust, ascending rather quickly. And obviously a lot of this episode will be heavily accelerated because we have a lot of ground to cover. Well, screenshot because of pretty pictures. And we have the craft, which is rather light, and as you can see, it has Karborundrum engines and also Alcubierre drive, which will be the first real mission, and it will be the real first spaceplane or single stage to orbit that will be going, well, anywhere. We have a very specific target in mind, which is Eloo, because we heard that there are some, Karborundrum to be mined, but we won't be mining it. Valentina has taken upon herself a mission of merely researching that it exists. And our engine's obviously running out of air, switching to the closed cycle as we thrust into the upper layers of the atmosphere, experience a little bit of atmospheric heating. And since we have already powered our nuclear reactors, our reactors are spooled up, so we have enough power to be able to use our Karborundrum drive. Karborundrum drive only has a thrust weight of 0.86 while we are kind of in the atmosphere, but it's good enough to be actually thrusting, and we are using two of the 0.625 format. Okay, circularizing the orbit, and we have successfully reached the orbit. Easy peasy. By the way, this spaceplane flies like a dream, literally. Okay, and I mean, the look is a little bit of reminiscent between Eurofighter and the F-16 cockpit, I'd say, for those of you that are following, the military jets, I guess. But okay, so like we said, our target is Eloo, but we have one target also to investigate. First things first. First, we need to select Sarnus as our target of choice, which we did. And then we have to perform the burn that will be taking us to the border of the, well, not the sphere of influence, but high enough so that the gravity will not be affecting our Alcubierre warp drive. And this is typically the height of, let's say, 900-ish kilometer, because it's 1.5 times the radius of Kerbal, which is 600. So I'm thinking with a little bit of safety margin, the apoapsis of 1 kilometer is good enough. By the way, guys, this will be a little bit heavier edited episode. I have tried to throw out all the uninteresting bits because we have a lot ground to cover. And yeah, I'm gonna try to keep it roughly around half an hour episode. Otherwise, I recorded this in one go, and I might even split this into 2 episodes. We'll see, depending on the mission and the progression. Okay, so we still haven't exited the safety zone, so our Alcubierre drive wouldn't start. A little bit further out. And we have a beautiful moon shot as it rises up behind Kerbal. And now we are roughly getting to the apoapsis which we wanted, so might as well be powering up the Alcubierre warp drive. Yeah, warp field seems to be stable, except the nose peeking out a little bit, but our scientists ensure us that this is all okay, because we have been conducting experiments, which I will be showing in future episode, unless I have already released it, of Kerbal Engineering. You will see the link in the card here and also on the end screen. Okay, the reason why the Alcubierre drive disabled itself there for a second was that we went slightly dipped into its safety zone, so yeah. Okay, but our warp drive is operational and we are slowly accelerating, leaving back Kerbal behind. And pretty soon, once we kick the maximum warp, we will be leaving the sun behind as well. And there we go. Look at that speed, how the sun is going quickly from us. Yes. Cutting out the travel and fiddling until we get an encounter with Sarnus. And I have decided, since we would be entering Sarnus sphere of influence, we could as well go to Tecto, because Tecto has been capturing the imagination of the scientists on Kerbal, because it's supposed to have atmosphere, so nobody has come close enough to be able to research it. We will not be landing on Tecto, though. We will just be performing a high orbit flyby, or not high orbit, but high in-space high flyby. Sorry. And around Tecto we will be performing our orbital insertion burn to basically insert ourselves into the orbit around Sarnus. Mind that this would be a very, very hefty burn because the Alcubierre drive works on the principles of conservation of motion, which means you still need to expend the same amount of delta V it would take you to get to Sarnus, but you get there faster, which is important because Valentina doesn't have a lot of snacks. I mean, she didn't bring it when she was going to bed. And after all, this is all a dream, so, well, she can take as little snacks as she wants to. Okay, so let us try and gauge. We have a flyby with a periapsis of 76,000 kilometers over Tecto, and let us just point ourselves, orbit retrograde and try to understand how much will our orbital insertion burn take, and we will do that the moment we get into the Tecto sphere of influence, which is roughly here. Okay, so turning off the Alcubierre drive and enabling the Karborundrum. It's a safety measure. We don't want those two to be running at the same time. Now, let us put the maneuver node here, and then let's see what monstrous amount of delta V we need to expand to get into the orbit around Sarnus. So, let's drag this all the way down. Okay, some 6,000, and if we want the orbital inclination to be nicer, let us just quickly plop that, and this would get us in the wrong direction actually out of Sarnus. So we would be orbiting opposite of the direction of the other planets. Oh shoot. Okay, in that case I need to plop it differently. I need to expend some more delta V. Yeah, something like that. Well, guys, that's why this ship is running a Karborundrum drive, and it has a total of 25,995 delta V at the moment. When it's loaded up fully, it has around 28,000 of delta V. So as a true next generation interplanetary SSTO. So I guess it's an SSTA. I wouldn't qualify it as a single stage to anywhere because it has too low thrust to weight to land on Tecto, and it has too low thrust to weight to land on Eve. So I would guess that probably it wouldn't be able to, get out of there. But okay. So we have a very long burn ahead of us, a total of 18 minutes. And because I obviously want to keep mine and your sanity, I really took the 18-minute burn in when I was recording this, but for your viewing pleasure it will be accelerated, I believe, like 6 times. So we should hopefully be burning 3 minutes in total. I'm sorry for a little bit longer burn, but we should feel that it's a little bit longer burn, and I didn't want to skip ahead. I wanted you to see and enjoy how Tecto is closing up on our craft as we burn towards the orbital insertion around Sarnus. By the way, I am playing with KSP 1.1.3, not 1.2, just for you who might be asking. And there I'm using the POOD's visual configs for the outer planets. So yeah. As you can see, Tecto has rich clouds and thick cloud layers, so not much of the continents can be seen below. Pretty much in the same way as the stock visual enhancements does to Eve. So that's clearly something to be thinking about. Okay, we are halfway through the burn, as I said, or roughly halfway through the burn. And as you can see, when playing back, it didn't look that monstrous. But in all honesty, when I was recording it, I was able to go grab myself a nice sandwich and do some snacks. As also Valentina, I can also do some snacks, but enjoying also the beautiful view, because if you look at her cockpit, it has a full-on canopy. The only thing that it's missing, in my opinion, is the fully translucent cockpit, which I think it would be great if we could get it. But yeah, I think it's a B9 cockpit, by the way, for those of you who might be wondering. Okay, 2,500 meters per second to go, and we are slowly sliding beside Tecto. Okay, and let us just continue with the burn, remaining like 4 minutes, which I guess in our case would be way less, but still. Enjoying the beautiful view of Sarnus and Tecto. For those of you guys that haven't played with the Outer Planets mods, Eloo, Outer Planets mod actually moves Eloo from the orbit around Sun to be the moon of Sarnus, because as far as I understand, Eloo is supposed to be like reminiscent of Europa, I guess. I'm not sure. But okay, so we have it around Sarnus, and we are finishing up our burn, 100 meters per second, and there we go. Whew, finally. Okay, so as you can see here, while we are going in the low orbit around Sarnus, we might as well take the chance to actually view some of the inner planets as well. And I'm thinking of taking a look at Ovok, actually. A weird egg-shaped planetoid that would be happening somewhere within the Sarnus's rings. So that would be our first target for today. As you can see, we still have 17,860, and I guess if you guys are using the Alcubierre warp drive from the Rover Dudes pack, you need to have this high delta V's to be able to perform orbital insertions and whatnot. Otherwise, you'll be just doing a quick round of flybys. And that's exactly what happened when we were launching our Dream Chaser. We didn't have the delta V to insert us, but we just basically flew there and back, and we pretty much returned in the same orbit. So yeah. Okay, we are leaving Tecto's sphere of influence by Tecto, and we will be visiting or passing very close to Sarnus. Enjoying the beautiful dance of the outer planets, and as you can see, we are coming close on Sarnus. We have our alignment burn, and there we go. Also, I believe this is actually, I don't know if this is Eloo or Ovok, I cannot see from here. So, node in 2 minutes, let's perform the burn. We could say that Valentina's dream was always to pioneer a mission into a completely unknown system. Granted, she's not the first to be going into another planetary system. I believe we had, John T, who actually went to the Julian system in the previous series, the Interplanetary Voyage of Exploration Season 1. But she is the first one, definitely the first Kerbal that has ventured this far out. Okay, and yeah, we are definitely seeing Eloo over here. But we are going lower, so we will be first checking out Ovok, and Kerbals also wanted to know the information about, Sarnus's rings. As basically they have been capturing their imagination. We were able to see them through the orbital telescopes and whatnot, but never this up close. So yeah, this truly is a dream mission for Valentina. Okay, we are coming up on our burn. That would hopefully get us an intersect with or rendezvous with Ovok. And Ovok has such small sphere of influence and such small gravity that it's actually very hard to get rendezvous with it. So that's also some things that we will be trying out very shortly. And performing the burn. It's a tiny burn, 60 meters per second, given the burns that we have been experiencing so far. And as you can see, we are already on the trajectory to meet Ovok and closing up on it. There we go. And for some reason we get some weird physics glitching in the vicinity of Ovok. We could attribute it to its unusual shape and looks and how it looks and performs and all that jazz. But then again, we cannot say if it's the Ovok or if it is the actual Sarnus's rings. But yeah, here you go, ladies and gentlemen. Ovok. Gosh, it really looked like an Easter egg. Literally. So Valentina went for an EVA. Whoa, what is going on? And instead of taking a pretty picture, she has been thinking about just throwing away her beautiful SSTO into oblivion. No, seriously guys, I mean this physics glitch is just crazy. Okay, I'm gonna do the time warp because I want to return back. This is actually, you know guys, Kraken's Bane, so I don't recognize it as... But anyway, Valentina, could you please stop kicking your space plane? Yeah, rather take a selfie if you can. Something along these lines. Yeah, that looks great, honey. Okay, so could you please reboard the plane? Because I'm worried that you might be stranded in the rings of Sarnus, you know? Ooh, come on. Board. Damn it. Okay, maybe third time's the charm. So we have to find a way how to reboard her, otherwise this dream could very quickly turn into a nightmare. Come closer and board. Okay, come from the other side. Can you board, please? Yeah, we can grab, but I don't want to grab, I want to board. I just have to figure out where is the boarding thing for that. Somewhere here, perhaps? Here's where we landed up, so... Come on. Come on. Just board the bloody plane, will you, please? Yeah, oh, there it is, board. Great. Phew. Okay, a couple of screenshots while I clean the puddle that's underneath me. Okay, so we have successfully reboarded the plane and successfully avoided this dream to become a nightmare. However, given the weird physics glitching around Ovok and the risk it takes, we have decided to rather go for Eloo, which was originally our mission. So, I'm plopping up a maneuver node which will secure us an encounter with Eloo. Great. And then I'm just gonna basically cut out the boring transfer while we get back into the orbit around Eloo. So we did basically standard transfer and orbital insertion. I'm sorry guys, I'm cutting some parts out, just a few of them, just to make this episode rolling a little bit more. Now, we are going to the maneuver node, 8 minutes. Okay, and it is also a tiny maneuver node, 12.2 meters per second, which should put us on a suborbital trajectory, and hopefully we could be able to land on the, well, sunny side of Eloo. Given the fact that Sun is so far, we could just say illuminated side of Eloo. Okay. Nice picture there, Valentina. And of course you are flying backwards because we need to be able... Oh, and look how far Sun is from here. Okay, let's just see how much we need to stop. 100 or 571. So roughly 500 meters per second to be able to stop in midair or mid-vacuum. And you can see once again how far Sun is from this, meaning that we are very, very far from our parent star. And apparently any mission taking here takes a couple of years to get, as you can see by our Sarnus Rim Explorer probe, which we have launched in episode, I believe, 2, 3, 4. So, yeah, that's a common conundrum when you think about it. You send out a travel craft that doesn't have a warp technology, and over some period of time you discover and research and find out the warp technology, and then you take a warp ship, and the traveler craft initial is still on its way, and you just basically overtake it. Yeah. We've seen that conundrum, I believe, in both The Expanse and also in the Battlestar Galactica. For those of you, I mean the new series, I don't know, I haven't seen the old series. Okay, so we are dropping in our altitude, and we will be coming, well, we have impact time 3 minutes, but given the fact that I'm playing this in 2 times acceleration, it could be minute and a half. However, I very much like the landing spots here because of the beautiful view of Sarnus and also the fact that it is on the sunny side, so we have plenty of light to work with. So I'm gonna be stopping this plane in its tracks somewhere along here, and then we will be going for the landing. I'm plopping out the landing gear, and since this SSTO is not also a VTOL, I mean, come on, it would be an overkill. Warp, SSTO, Karborundrum powered, and then a VTOL. Well, technically in this episode, or in this case, it will be landing a little bit vertically just before flaring for the final touchdown. So I plan to take it basically as a normal lander and then in the last second flip on its wheels. And I'm hoping the physics will be kind on me and won't result in some wheels ripping off. 120 meters per second, 84 meters per second of surface velocity. That's horizontal speed, and vertical speed is slowly building up. I also want to be burning slightly to keep the vertical speed in arrest, so to say. And there we have our shadow, which means we are less than 1,000 meters above the terrain, despite our altitude saying 2,700. So I'm just doing the final adjustments to keep our surface velocity well below 10. I'm hoping to keep it around 5,432-ish, but we'll see. And burning ever so carefully. Very light on the throttle here. But Valentina is expert. She is a 5-star expert pilot that has been taking our most advanced ships since Jeb's passing. So she is the most qualified and she's the most skilled pilot we have to fly this kind of craft. In her dreams, of course. 1.0, okay, 1 meters per second. Okay, getting close. Time for the flare. 6, 5, 4, 3, and quickly. Up. Whew. Success. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this looks like a successful landing. I'm just gonna pop the brakes, and SAS has decided to pull, hydraulics tricks because Valentina is now just showing off. However, I'm gonna cut it here. And we will be planting a flag here. And rather than this episode lasting a full hour, I have decided to break it midway. So in the next episode, we will be taking Valentina back in her dream home, hopefully. So, but first we need to plant the flag here, where we have a beautiful view, and take a selfie and obviously send a postcard before we actually close down this episode. So, flag, check. Site name. How are we going to call it? Let's call it the Val landing. Plaque text saying we have finally landed on Eloo. Let me send a postcard home. Signed Val with a smiley. Okay, guys, and let's take that postcard. And with the postcard, I'm gonna wish you all have a pleasant day. And thank you very much for watching. Like if you like, hit subscribe for more KSP content. I'll see you all in the next episode. Until then, thank you very much for watching. This is GrunfWorks, signing off.